This is a very big day in Hamilton's fight against COVID-19 with a mass vaccination clinic opening at FirstOntario Centre downtown. Hamilton Mayor Fred Eisenberger joins us with more this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
You've got to be happy to see this finally open.
Terrific effort by our staff to get this organized, and yeah, we're actually anxious to vaccinate everyone. And right now, the eligibility is for the 80 plus. And we are going to be doing about 700 folks today, and I can tell you that the experience that people are going to have when they go through the clinic is going to be very smooth, very well organized, very detailed in terms of all the logistics that have to occur to make it all happen. But they're ready and waiting and good to go. So enter at York Boulevard, easy drop off if necessary. There's free parking at the York Street Parkade. You can get your ticket validated when you go to the vaccination clinic, so everything should be ready to go for people to get vaccinated.
And I think that's an important clarification to make, because I think most people, when you're coming to First Ontario, you think about entering off of Bay Street, right? But there's not a lot of options for parking there or even stopping there. So just turn around the corner to York, and there's the drop-off there.
Yeah, there's actually, it's on Bay Street. Sorry about that. It is on Bay Street. So there's a lay-by on Bay Street that people can get dropped off, and then folks that want to park can go around the corner and go to the parkade and make their parking requirements there, and then get that validated when they come to the clinic. And I do want to remind everyone that this is by appointment only. This is not a drop-in center, not a place where you can just stop by to get a vaccine. You have to have an appointment before you'll see you. If you don't have one, they will not vaccinate you.
And this is at the lower part of, I keep wanting to call it Cops Coliseum. It is FirstOntario Centre. What if the OHL chooses Hamilton as a bubble city? What would happen to that vaccination clinic there? Could the two run, with the Bulldogs and the OHL games going on, could they run together safely?
That's an open question. I don't know the answer to that. That's certainly something that our medical officer of health will have to look at, if that's a possibility. And I haven't heard from the OHL in any way, shape, or form in terms of what their intentions are, but something that we'd have to look at to make sure that there's a safe operation here. Now, normally games happen later in the day when potentially this clinic will be winding down. I think the hours are up until about 8 o'clock. So I don't know if there's a way of working that out, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But I think we're committed to this vaccination center. That's the top priority. Getting people vaccinated is the top priority, over and above OHL and anything else. And so the priority will be given to making sure that this vaccination clinic can continue to operate.
Right. What are Hamilton's numbers doing now? Because I know that at the end of last week there was the threat that we could be moved back into gray.
Yeah, the numbers have been going up, and unfortunately, it's also as a result of these variants that are increasingly being found here in our community. So I think today and tomorrow, our medical officers of health will be looking at this along with the province of Ontario, and they'll be making a determination as to where we go from here. The number, the average number of 100 per day has been the benchmark for a change in terms of the status of things that are open in our community, or the volume of people in restaurants and in volume of people in stores and so on. So I would say the next few days is going to be a critical time to make an assessment as to whether or not we need a further restriction in terms of movement. Having said that, we're still encouraging people to stay within their own household as much as possible, to continue to mask and physically separate. All the things that we've been talking about for the better part of this year are still very much in place, even if you've been vaccinated. So your vaccination doesn't prevent you, or shouldn't prevent you, from taking all these public safety measures.
It's not a free-for-all once you get the shot then. Mayor Fred, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I know you've got a busy day ahead. Mayor Fred Eisenberger, Mayor of Hamilton.
Thanks so much. Enjoy the weather.
You too.